Change now. Change now, it's a beautiful name for what we all want, right? We all want to make a change, but we just need to know that there are tools to do that and that it's doable, right? We all want a better world. I'm going to talk today about plastic. And let me just start. I'll start with let me see that it works. Yes, it works. So, plastic. What is so wrong with plastic? Do we know? We know part of it. We don't really know all of it. Because our generation is the generation that lives the first trial of plastic. But one thing we do know. We know that plastic lasts forever. It just lasts forever. So we don't really know if it's 500 years or maybe 1,000 years or maybe more and less, but it's forever. It's much more than what we can handle and do. So that's when I'm going to speak about plastic today, I'm going to focus on that, on what happens to the plastic after we use it and how can we change that. So let's look at some numbers. This is very important, those numbers. So actually, the world today recycles only 9% of the plastic that we manufacture. That's a fact. I'm talking worldwide. 12% is going to incineration. There are some territories who incinerate their waste, so 12% goes to incineration. Where is the rest? The rest is going either to landfills, or to the sea, or to other places that we really don't want it to go to over there. Let's look at some more numbers. So until today, in the last, let's say, 30 to 40 years that we've been using plastic, the world has manufactured 8.3 billion tons of plastic. 8.3 billion tons of plastic. 5.8 was used only once. Remember the 9% from earlier? So 9% was recycled, and only 10% of those 9% was recycled second time. Okay? Those are the numbers. If we continue like that, the graph looks like this. Within 30 years, we're going to manufacture 4 times more than we have ever manufactured. Okay? So definitely we're going to a disaster that it's above human capacity to handle. Now, something has to be done in order to change that course of the rising usage of plastic. At TIPA, we started dealing with this problem of plastic a few years ago. When I stood on stages in those years, nobody really understood what I'm talking about. It's really different today, because the plastic storm is out there. But when we started, we focused on flexible packaging. What are flexible packaging? Flexible packaging are all the packages that are soft packages. Just imagine going in the supermarket, all the snacks, the crisps, the granola bars, the fresh produce, the cheese, the meat, all those flexible packages cannot be recycled. The majority of them cannot be recycled and are not recycled today. There are a few reasons for that. The main reason is that those packages use few materials together in one package, and the second one, that it's not economics. So those packages are not recycled. It's a market last year of almost more than $1 billion, with a growth of almost 5% per year. So it's definitely a market that all the world is using, growing very fast with zero ecological solutions. Let's see what we used to do in the past, and what we're using today, and what we should do. Okay. So when we started using packaging, we definitely sent all the packages. That was like at the 70s, 80s. All the packages were sent to landfill. That's the first thing. After a few years, we understood that we cannot do that anymore. So the world and scientists started to work on recycling options. So recycling, recently, there's a major discussion on recycling, because scientists understand that recycling only delays the problem. It's still linear economics. Still, the package will go eventually to landfill. At TIPA, when we developed our technology, we focus on compost. which this system, composting system, was designed to handle organic waste and organic materials. And it's fully circular economic system, because we take one material and we turn it to a new material, which goes again to the fields. So this is the circular economy. We designed a package that actually goes to this system. Our inspiration was actually nature. So why won't we create a package that is like an orange peel? So this, we can treat the package the same thing that we treat our organic waste, our kitchen waste. So the package will go together with the organic waste to the organic waste stream and decompose and fully go back to nature as organic material. Okay, so that's the inspiration. So the consumer will eat or drink the content of the package, and the package will go to organic waste stream and fully go back to nature. I'll show you in a second what I mean. At the same time, developing a compostable packaging is perfect, but it has to replace conventional plastic. So we had to develop packaging solutions that are equal to conventional plastic when I talk about all the characteristics that are needed for packaging, but at the same time, it's fully compostable. So we use the package maybe 2 days, maybe 2 months, maybe 6 months, maybe 1 year, but after we use it, it decomposes and turns into soil. When I say compostable, this is what I mean. So it starts with a regular packaging material. It's a package. And then that's what happens when it goes to compost system, either home compost or industrial compost. This is what we mean when we say compostable. All that happens within 6 months. So the process is that the package on the shelf will not disintegrate. We provide the same shelf life as conventional plastic. Once the package goes to industrial compost or home compost, it starts to disintegrate, breaks down to small parts, and then the small parts are eaten by bacteria, and the bacteria actually creates the soil or the fertilizer. So that's the process. So up to 6 months, as opposed to thousands of years, the package kind of disappears, but turns into a new material that can then be used as a soil. Circular economy approach. Okay, so it's very nice to talk about the innovation. It's very nice to talk about the idea, but we have to provide solutions. That's what we are for. That's what we did with our R&D team and development. What I'm going to talk now is about our products in the markets, about our portfolio of products. Where can you find it? How and what are the applications? Okay, so let's start with a few applications. What you can see here are products that are already on the shelves, as I said, in the last at least 1.5 years or 2 years, proving that this technology works exactly as conventional plastic packaging. So we can see fresh produce that's sold. This product is in the Netherlands, in Jambo, in the supermarket. Snacked, it's in the UK. That's one of our snacks applications. Grains, the Halm, again in the Netherlands. Coffee beans. This is a product that's going to be launched in the next 2 months. Coffee beans, sachets with powder, trays with lids, all those fully compostable. Stand-up pouch. Stand-up pouch with a zipper. For this one is for powder, but there are other applications. Tea bags, granola bars, and also non-food applications like zipper bags, apparel. We work, for example, with Stella McCartney, who adopted all our packaging, and magazines. That's here. That's in France. So what I'm saying here, those are only a few samples, saying the technology is ready. Okay, the need is there, and the technology is ready, and we can definitely, all of us, take this step and use new packaging applications which are not plastic. Let's talk about the markets, how the markets look, what is the need in the markets. Okay, So first of all, there's a lot of pressure coming from end consumers. Mainly, we see it in France, we see it in the UK, we see it in the US, but we see it all over the world. Free Plastic Isle, it's an organization that actually launched Free Plastic Isle. They started in the Netherlands, they're actually based in the UK. They launched an aisle in the supermarket with all the packages with no plastic packaging. So they had all variety of packages, and all the flexible packaging was ours, was TIPA's. The products that I just showed a few slides ago, they were in that aisle. And there are definitely massive numbers that support getting rid of plastic packaging. This is only a sample. The other thing are the industry leaders, the companies, the brands. So the brands, for them, it's a process. It's a process to change packaging technology. It costs a bit more. For them, it's a step to take. But they made an announcement that by 2025, all the packages will be either reusable, compostable, or recyclable. Okay. They lead the market. We already run pilots with a massive number of market leaders and others, but they're definitely taking steps into the future. And that's a very good point for them, in my opinion. But let's talk also about the government. The government has a very, very important role in changing massive technologies, because governments, their role is to run a change, and they can do that. They can run a change. We put here the three leading prime ministers or governors that actually run the change in their countries. So Mr. Macron, of course, Theresa May, and also in California. We see a lot of laws coming by the government, either encouraging or mandatory laws to use compostable materials as opposed to conventional plastic. Theresa May announced in January 2018, this year, that she's going to fight single-use plastic. And she does. She really does. She changes the market while we talk. And also here in France, massive changes, beautiful changes. We see those two territories the role model for the rest of the world, because we see other countries copying what's happening in those two territories, and it's very important to really make a change now. In the last, I would say, year, there were major changes in the market. Let's start with China. China used to accept 50% of the world's waste until the end of 2017, 50%. That waste was marked as recycled, okay? So country used to put the waste on ships and ship it to China and mark it as recycled, okay? Mid-2017, China announced not anymore. Get ready. Effectively from January 2018, China stopped accepting waste coming, all different waste coming from all over the world. And all of a sudden, many territories, many countries found themselves with piles of waste with no solutions. That actually started driving major legislation and laws and announcements in many countries. Europe is leading, no doubt. So the Netherlands, they started first. They were effectively from 2015. A company that uses compostable packaging pays only 4% from the tax that other plastic packages pay, 40%. So that's encouraging laws. In France, in 2017, a very nice law was legislated using only compostable materials for magazine wraps and other mail shots and point-of-sale bags. That's leading. That's really leadership. China took the step of stop accepting waste coming from the rest of the world. Europe announced that next year they're going to heavily tax packages that have no recyclable solutions. And we see that actually driving more and more laws. We definitely see India moving in that direction, Australia, South Africa. We get inquiries, have inquiries from those territories and of course from Europe. So this actually runs the change now. Now, governments, in order to legislate laws, they need to know that the technology is ready. And that's what we are for. Say, hey, the technology is here, it's ready for adoption. You just have to acknowledge that, maybe test that. Although we have a product market fit we approve that. But the technology is ready. All you need is to test it and adopt it and encourage the industry using it. I would like to finish with my vision. My vision is that eventually we will be able to treat packaging as our kitchen waste, as our organic waste. We will think, whatever I do with my banana peel, or with my orange peel, or with the cucumbers and tomatoes, the same thing I do with my package. So there is or there will be organic waste stream in all territories, and the packages will go to the same stream and decompose and fully go back to nature, the same thing as organic material, and that's it. Thank you very much.